Hello, everybody. René Garcia. Tonight I am flying alone. Brian normally would record with me, but this is kind of an off night, off of our schedule, and he couldn't make it. So I thought I would just take the time and talk to you alone. I have my coffee. Haven't had coffee in a while, so hopefully this will perk me up. I've been feeling a little out of sorts, but I thought it was important to make this video since every step of the way in the Stage32 New Blood screenwriting competition, we've been keeping you apprised of the performance of the script, and we announced when we made it into the quarterfinalists, and then we announced when we made it into the semifinalists. I think it was only appropriate to let you know if we made it into the finals. And last Friday, we were supposed to, or rather, the organization Stage 32 was supposed to let us know who the finalists were, and then on Saturday they updated the date to today for the announcement, and I just wanted to share the results with you. And then maybe talk a little bit more after that. So, without further ado, let us visit the website. Actually, with a little bit more ado, this whole time I have been suppressing my hopes, every tier. So let's assume that a screenplay competition like this gets thousands of submissions. It's maybe a little bit of narcissism to think that you would make it into the top 100, for the quarterfinalists, or top 250, whatever it is. I mean, in this case, I think it was the top 85. So it in many ways, and I know I've said this before, it can really feel like playing the lottery, because it really comes down to the right eyeballs seeing your script at the right time, right? Who knows what kind of reader you're going to get, or what state of mind they're in, what script your script is in their long list of scripts to read and to decide if it's going to move forward or not. So, a lot of variables, and, it really comes down to those variables lining up to keep moving you forward. So, having been through this process before, I do try to temper my expectations, and understand the reality of all of those variables. And at quarterfinalists, it was easy to suppress the hopes. After that, being the semifinalists, the cut wasn't that big. We only lost, I think, 35 submissions to get us down to 50. That was, it took a little bit more to suppress the hopes. And, for finalists, it is a lot. I don't know. I guess I'm torn on this. On one hand, I realize that the cut is so severe, cutting from 50 to 10, and so I shouldn't have much hope in making that cut, right? I think that makes sense. On the other hand, all you have is hope. Right? All you have is hope to make that cut. So, I guess I don't know what I'm saying here. I feel like I really need Brian here to bounce off these inchoate ideas that are so poorly formed I can't even articulate them. In any event, I was doing my best to keep the hopes down because the cut was so severe. Just leave it at that. Now, no more ado. Let us get to the website and let us see if Epitaph made it. So here is the website. Let me just scroll down. Let me just break the visuals for a second. All right, here we are. Finalists have been announced. Scroll down to C. Go. Here we are. And there it is, Epitaph. Going strong, the little script that could. I am joined by 9 other contestants. Is it 9? Did I even bother counting? Let me see. 2, 6, 7. Okay, it's the top 12. The top 12. Here I was. Blasting this on social media all over the place, saying I was in the top 10. I'm actually in the top 12, everybody. The top 12. Well, there you go. I knew the list looked longer than 10 just by eyeballing it. Oh well. Top 12, top 10. What's a couple contestants or submissions between friends? Anyway, so finalist. I am of two minds. Part of me physically, I am giddy with anticipation. When do we find out who the winner is here? December 6th. Okay, so that's 2 weeks. All right. So physically, I'm giddy with anticipation. Mentally, I am once again just suppressing the hope that I could win. So if you are just joining us, or joining me, rather, I've been here before with Stage 32. I do have an action screenplay that I submitted for their sci-fi and fantasy screenwriting competition. And I was a finalist with that. And man, it was so exciting because that's a script I really, really believe in. And I just thought, man, this could really go all the way. And it didn't. I was a finalist and then nothing. And that was a tremendous blow. And what's funny is that the following year I submitted that same screenplay unedited to the same competition, and it got to the quarterfinalists, and then that's it. I don't think it made it past that. So once again, just going back to the whole idea of the right eyeballs at the right time. In any event, so physically, once again, I'm very excited. I wanted to go out and celebrate and have a nice meal tonight. But mentally, as I said before, I've been here before, and this could be it. I could be a finalist and then nothing. Even if I attach that to, my pitching, to like Stage 32 offers these pitching services where you can actually pitch your screenplay to an executive. I've said, hey, this, my previous script that was a finalist, I've said this is a finalist in this past screenplay competition, and it didn't seem to really do much to help with the pitch. So I don't know. Mentally, I have to say, look, until you win, this is not really something to celebrate. I mean, it's something to acknowledge. It is a milestone. Obviously, it's a tremendous achievement to be selected among all of these other scripts. But, it's not a victory until it's a victory, I guess. Now, a couple other thoughts I wanted to say before I start kind of wrapping this up. I really have no expectations that I'm going to win. Because I feel like when you're in the finalist round, that this is where the decision, I know this sounds like really just obvious, but this is where the decisions really matter. And let me just try to expound on that a little bit. So, as I mentioned, I think in a previous episode, I was a I was a reader for an essay competition for a couple of them. And, the first cut, it's almost like, what are you really weeding out? You're weeding out just things that are poorly written. Maybe there are a lot of misspellings, or structure is incorrect, or doesn't satisfy the assignment. Just things, just obvious things. So, I'm not sure what the criterias were for the various tiers of this competition, but I have to imagine it was something similar. I think that now here we are. Well, I guess what I'm saying is that it's easier to make those cuts, or it's easier to identify scripts that are a cut above the other scripts, right? And there, as someone who has read a lot of essays and is a copywriter and has had to proofread other people in, marketing's work, that was like poorly phrased, but I think you get the point, who are not necessarily copywriters, who haven't cut their teeth actually having to write copy day in, day out as a way to feed themselves, right? You can tell when writing is bad. And, I have to assume that these professional readers at Stage 32, they must feel the same way. Now, but I think that here we are in the finalist stage, we are with the cream of the crop. I think the criteria for picking the best script is going to be vastly different. Like, I have to assume all of these scripts are, similar to mine, meaning, impeccable writing, grammar is on point. You don't go over the pages. It doesn't seem too thin. I think now the criteria is going to be something more along the lines of what is realistically, or within the realm of possibility to produce, and what is commercially viable, things like that. I don't know that my script is necessarily the one that satisfies that rubric or that criteria. I don't even know if that is the criteria. I'm just spitballing at this point because, competitions like this, who knows what goes through the mind of a judge at the finalist stage. I don't think that's disclosed. I'm looking at the website right now. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything here that says exactly this is what they're looking for. So who knows? I would assume that these executives at and agents and managers at these various agencies, they would ideally want to look for something that they could turn into a project that they would produce, right? That only makes sense to me. In any event, I feel like above, more than the other cuts, I feel like the feeling of playing the lottery is strongest here at the finalist stage. And now I have, that sounds absurd because before I had it, mathematically I had a 1 in whatever thousandth chance, to win. Now I have a 1 in 12 chance, which is vastly superior, it seems. But I also feel like, the judging is different at this stage. I don't want to rehash what I just said. So I think that's all I have to say. I really am. I can't help but laugh because I really am excited. I'm excited about the prospect, about, I feel like, the goal is just over the horizon. And if I've built this script as well as I think I have, I feel like I will reach that goal. I just know mentally that that's not exactly how this works. So, I guess we will let you know. There's not going to be another full episode with Brian and myself this week. So I guess the next time we talk, we'll let you know if I win or not. And at the very least, this has been an exciting journey. I had no idea that this project would have been as successful as it has been so far. This is essentially, it's hard to quantify what draft Epitaph is in at this point. For my own file keeping, it's draft 1.2. But when we think of how many times I went back over certain pages because of notes from Brian or notes, from a few people on the internet. The changes I made are maybe like certain pages, like certain parts are draft 8.6. Who knows? Some pages are draft 1, to be honest, because I just feel like they don't need improvement. I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh, here's where I'm going. Wow. This is why I need Brian to be my second brain to keep me on track. I guess what I'm getting at is that I'm very surprised, or I'm pleasantly surprised, maybe not very, but I'm pleasantly surprised that this script, after having just gone through this project once, has gotten as far as it has. I mean, and this was my goal from the beginning, to write this script for this competition. So we were under a certain deadline. I mean, it wasn't an impossible or even a difficult deadline to hit, but it was written for this explicit purpose, and so far it has performed very well, beyond my expectations, really. And I don't know, is that proof that this project, or the method that I used to write it, is a good method? I don't know. I mean, it works. So far it is working for me, and so far it has turned out good material. So there we are. I think that's all I have to say. All right. Thank you for putting up with my ramblings. It is a little odd not having someone to bounce ideas off of, but I hope it was tolerable. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoy what I'm doing, what Brian and I are doing, if you're enjoying the stories that I'm writing, then please like and subscribe, and I guess we will see you in about 2 weeks. Bye.